Hello AOS fans, it's me, Pete. We've got another deck review for you, and this week it's a Patreon's request. That's right, if you come in at our top $10 level, we will pick one Patreon every month, and you get to pick your entire matchup. You can pick the warbands, the decks, the tactics, anything you like. Board layout, anything at all that you can think of, you can tell us and we will play it. This week is quite a nice simple one for Robin and I. We have no limitations at all. We've just got to bring our own tournament deck, something we would take to a tournament obviously, so it's got to be nice and balanced, nice and even. And the two warbands in question are Garreks Reavers, who I shall be playing, and the Fast Riders, who Robin's going to be bringing along. So this is my deck. It's not particularly subtle. I've gone for Khorne, I've gone for skulls and blood and murder and bloodshed. So here we go, here are my cards. Starting off with the objectives, there is no faction fraction this week, we can pick whatever we want, but I have got some of the Reavers cards in here. The first one being a blood for the blood god. Score immediately, which is always handy. 3 or more fighters making a charge action. Well, I'm going to be charging a lot. Hopefully that'll be a mid-turn glory. I can upgrade someone like Sayek, give him something extra choppy to do some damage with. The next one is It Begins, scoring an end phase of at least one fighter from each warband's out of action. Well, I'm hoping to kill a lot of his guys and some of my guys will die, so this is another glory for people dying left, right and centre. After that I've got Khorne Cares Not. I score this in the end phase if 5 or more fighters are out of action. Now against the Fast Riders, it might not be the best choice out there, 5 people, but I've got 5 and he's got 3, so that's 8 in total. I reckon I could score this still and it is 2 glory. After that I've got Advancing Strike, kill somebody in their enemy territory. Well, I'm going to be coming after him, I'm fast, I can get across the board quick, that should be easy to score, and it's another immediate score there, so that'll be another insta glory. Alone in the Darkness next, and whilst there's 5 of my guys I will be spaced out quite a bit as I'm homing in on him. If I get this in my hand I will be using hopefully one of my moves or Great Concussion, which is in my deck, to hopefully score that. For 2 glory it's always worth going for. I've then been brave and I've gone for Annihilation, take out all enemy fighters. 5 glory, nothing to be sniffed at. Then Change of Tactics. Now this seems like an odd one to take for Khorne, but if I get this early on, or if I get this and I know I'm going to go for it, I can always use this straight away and then I can charge the next turn with that character. That's an instant score glory again, it's another mid-turn glory. If I get this right at the start I could hopefully put Targor or Arnold on guard, charge it with them, it'll protect them in the interim as well. Then Chosen Champion, I'm probably going to put most of my upgrades on Sayek or Garrek, one of the two. If I can get a couple of lucky ones on one of them, then hopefully Chosen Champion should be not far behind. Conquest, which is a 3rd end phase card for me, get all of my guys in his territory. Well, I'm going to be going after him. I know he's going to be coming into my half to try and get inspired, but I'm hoping near the end when this comes along I won't have many guys left, so it should just be a case of sprinting somebody across the field to get that one. Defensive Strike, because like I say, he's Fast Riders, but even if not, whoever I'm coming up against, they're probably going to have some guys in my half, and that'll give me another immediate score glory for killing someone in my half. Escalation next, which is play 3 upgrades. If I'm really lucky and I get 3 of my instant scores out early, I might even be able to score that one at the end of the first round. Probably not though, but you never know. And the last one is Ploy Master. Play 3 ploys. I like this one, it's a fairly easy one to get. Your opponent can't stop you, so that's why that's in there. So there we are, 1 3rd end phase card, 7 regulars and 4 instant scores, hoping that that will give me a nice balanced set of glory. So once I've gained that glorious glory, what am I going to spend it on? Well, again, I've got a few Garrek Reaver only upgrades in here, but I haven't gone for a faction fraction by any stretch. The first one I've picked is Berserk Charge. Sayek only means his sword and hammers are successes when he makes a charge action. That'll be a nice one to get in there. Increases chance of hitting somebody. Then I've gone for Bloodslick, 1 for Garrek, which is +1 defense. Very nice to keep him alive. Then I've gone for Frenzy, roll an extra attack dice when they make a charge action. If I can get that along with Berserk Charge on Sayek, that can make him quite tasty indeed. And then Grizzly Trophy for Garrek. Gain 1 additional glory point every time he kills somebody. Well, I always see this as a must-have for Garrek because he's going to be killing people. If he's going to be killing people, I might as well maximise his glory earning potential. The rest of my upgrades I've taken is Awakened Weapon, reroll a dice is always handy. Deathly Fortitude, now the -2 move isn't great for me, but I'm not too slow even with that, and the +2 wounds will make me extra invulnerable. I've then also got Great Strength and Incredible Strength because any plus damage possible will be handy for me here. Almost definitely put it on Sayek or Garrek to up their damage to them 3 to 4 to make them extra killy, especially against the Fast Riders, that will make them pretty dangerous. I think of a Light Armour. I'm only rolling dodges on my defense anyway, so I'm not going to miss the crit too much on defense, and I roll an extra attack dice when making an attack action. If I can get that on Sake with Frenzy, that would make him roll 4 attack dice. That could make him pretty damn tasty. I think I'm for Shadeglass Dagger. Out of all the Shadeglass weapons, I think this one is the better one to have because it does 3 damage, which is pretty massive. It's 3 swords, and on a crit you do an extra damage. That's 4 damage. That's enough to one-shot most people in the game. And the last one is SOULTRAP, because if I have beefed up Sake or Garrek to the gills and they do take a hit that could take them out, I'd like a chance to keep them alive if at all possible. So those are my upgrades, and what are my ploys that I'm going to use to try and score those objectives to gain the glorious glory to buy those upgrades in the first place? Well, here they are. Again, I haven't necessarily gone for faction, but I've ended up that way a little bit with the ploys. First card I've gone for is Blood Offering. Choose friendly fighter and they take 1 damage and roll 2 extra attack dice. Again, if I can get this on Sake or Garrek, they might take a wound, yes, but rolling 2 extra attack dice means their attack is almost definitely going to land. Especially if I can get something like Incredible Strength or Great Strength on them, Deathly Fortitude as well, that could be a real useful card. I then go for Boon of Khorne. Play when attack takes an enemy fighter out of action, I can take all the wound tokens for one of my friendly fighters. I'm hoping if I've used Blood Offering to wound someone, or if they've taken some wounds already, I get this, I can heal one of my guys up. The next one is Insensate. Now, whilst against fast riders, Robin can nobble me a bit with this by using one of his ranged attacks to just do 1 damage anyway. If he comes in close for a bit of up-front chopping, then this means it will reduce that damage to just 1. Next one is Khorne Calls. Roll an extra attack dice for my first attack action in the next activation. Put that one along with Blood Offering, roll 3 extra attack dice. That could get pretty scary. And the last Khorne specific one is Skulls for the Skull Throw, which is play after a friendly fighter's attack takes an enemy out of action, draw 2 power cards. Always nice to be able to draw as many extra cards as I can, and that's why I've also got Jewel of Wits. This is a 22 card deck, so Jewel of Wits and Skulls for the Skull Throw will hopefully help me cycle through all of my cards, or nearly all of my cards, and get everything out that I really could use. Great Concussion is the next one. I'll nearly always take this card in one of my decks because it's useful against objective seekers. It's useful if you just want to push people away from you, especially if you've got Alone in the Darkness. It's great in a number of situations. I've then gone for Quick Thinker, hoping that I can use this to dodge away from an attack, but also possibly to move one of my guys up into a sporting position so I can attack back. After that it's Ready for Action! Yep, an extra attack, almost a definite use for this card. Sometimes the move's handy, but nearly always going to be an extra attack, especially with Sake and Garrek, getting them to double shot somebody, that would be really nice. And then I've gone for the Gruesome Twosome when you're going for an offensive deck, Trap and Twist the Knife. Doing an extra damage when you push someone back, or doing an extra damage just when you've actually managed to successfully damage them, can make you pretty tasty. If I get both of these cards off, even with someone like Targ or Arnold, that's enough to threaten even a pretty hard fighter. But with someone like Garrek or Sake, that backs them up and makes them pretty much a character killer of any kind. So those are my cards. It's a pretty simple deck with a pretty simple intention, which is kill as many people as I can. It'll be interesting to see how I fare against the fast riders. They have range on me, but I've got speed on them. Whilst they're tough, I think I've got a lot of plus extra dice cards in it, which could really help my offensive abilities. I'll send in the Chuckle Brothers first, maybe Castles as well if no one's died. Once I can get 3 people dead, my other guys get boosted. Sake will gain Cleave, which makes him even nastier. And generally those are my 2 guys, Garrek and Sake. I want to keep alive. They're going to stay near the back at the start, use their movement to get into position when I need them to, and then hopefully rain hell down upon the opposition. So that's it. Those are my cards. That is my tactic. It's a pretty simple one and I'm hoping it pays off. But let me know if there are any cards that you would always take in an offensive Garrek deck, or if there are any cards I've taken that you would never think about touching. I always like to hear what people's thoughts are, and generally you always manage to point out something that I've never thought of before, hence why things like Deathly Fortitude now feature on my deck quite a bit. So anyway, if you're interested in seeing your own battle report with your own decks, your own choices, then do look on Patreon and sponsor us. And if there's anything else you'd like to see on the channel in general, do let us know. Even if you come in at the lower levels on Patreon, you can still get involved in all the chats and all the back behind the scenes stuff that we sometimes talk about, and all the other things that we go on about too. So until I see you in the Mirrored City, bye!